Alright, so I pulled my back really bad lifting weights this morning, so if I collapse here, just leave me on the floor. I don't think my ego could handle being carted out here, to be honest. Good evening, everybody. I'm very honored to be here tonight. I want to give a friendly hello to everybody in the room I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. Hello, I'm Dave, from New York, single, credit score 803, 37. Alright, for all intended purposes, I'm pretty much the best man tonight. If Matt wasn't born. And I'll be honest, being the unofficial best man has been a lot of work. You plan the bachelor party, you write a speech, you try really hard not to look better than the groom. It's been quite the challenge. I imagine it's somewhat similar to marrying somebody that you love. An incredible honor, but occasionally wishing someone else was doing the work for you. But before I go too far, I want to recognize all you beautiful people who were able to come out and celebrate with the bride and groom. Why don't you give yourselves a hand? 9 times out of 10, family is there to support you during your biggest moments. And 10 times out of 10, they show up when they hear it's an open bar. Alright, but enough of the jokes, this is serious. They say you should never meet your heroes. And Tyler met me November 25th, 2019. A referral from a mutual friend, Tyler was looking for the only thing that I had that he didn't, muscles. That joke is ironic given my situation at the moment. And so he hired me to be a strength coach. He walked into my gym, 6'5", 165 pounds, severely underweight, and honestly, pretty strange. Some days he would present calm and composed, socially appropriate, normal, and other days he'd be mid-conversation with you, waving his arms like a used car lot inflatable. You may or may not be familiar with the Tyler Wiggle. I'm sure we'll see some of that later. Apparently, the girls love it. Needless to say that when we met, giving speech at his wedding was not on my Tyler Camp bingo card. But as the weeks went on, I realized that this guy could be pretty misunderstood at times. And to understand why, it's important to look at the 3 sides of him that make Tyler, well, Tyler. I like to call this the Tyler Triangle. First side, there's the brilliant, nerdy software engineer, the guy who's intelligent beyond measure, and who can explain something complicated in a way that makes you feel both smarter and dumber at the same time. Second side, there's the funny, silly, video game playing, arm flailing Tyler, who reminds you not to take life too seriously. And third is the grounded, patient, empathetic, and psychologically oriented Tyler, the one that you can lean on in tough moments. And it's the third side that I want to tell you a little bit more about tonight. In my work and in my life, I've had the privilege of building many close relationships. However, there are only a few people that I can confide in a very deep level. And not because I don't trust them, but honestly, they just can't meet me there. Tyler can. He has an emotional intelligence and a depth of character that honestly blows me away at times. I can bring anything and everything to Tyler, and I know he'll help me process or work through it with excellence. And I've never looked forward to discussing someone else's internal world more than his, because of how rich, nuanced, and self-explored that is. Over the years, I've watched him shoulder immense burdens while selflessly putting his own needs aside. I've seen him stay resilient during some strong storms and supportive when his friends and family needed him the most. 4 years ago, we spent 2 months in Hawaii during one of the toughest breakups of my life, and I'm not sure if I would have been able to do that if I didn't have Tyler there to support me. There aren't many people, let alone men, who I can hug while crying and not feel any judgment for it. So what I've come to realize is that while I've had the rare opportunity to learn from and experience all 3 sides of the Tyler Triangle, most people generally get to see only one, maybe 2 if they're lucky, which is why I think that it can be very misunderstood at times. Kind of like how I feel about not being the official best man. I'll leave you with this. Somewhere along the way, Tyler went from being my client to being my best friend. Watching him grow and mature has filled me with personal joy and it's been one of the highlights of my professional career. I'm so proud of the man he grew into, And by the way, that 6'5", 165-pound twig that I met back in 2019, yeah, he's nearly 200 pounds now and can squat over 300 pounds of straight iron.
Yeah!
Very true. Please email Dave at nycreset.com for all training increase. So Rosa, here's the version of Tyler that I want to leave you with tonight. He's weird, he's brilliant, and he's thoughtful to his core. He doesn't just love people, he works at it. And I know he'll bring that same level of care and intentionality into your marriage. I love you guys. To Tyler and Rosa,